Foo Fighters, Waiting on a War on BBC Radio Shropshire. Now, Telford filmmaker and podcaster Luke Allen has been on the show a few times talking about his knack of securing big celebrity guests to work with him on his projects. Richard Curtis being the last one we spoke about. He has been on to talk about the films that he's made that have caught the attention in the movie industry as well. And he's back with a new project. He's got some new celebrity mates, I think it's fair to say. Luke's working with Alex Yousefi on a new comedy project. And they're here now. Good evening, gents. How are you?
Good, thanks. Yeah,
Good,
great to be back.
Good, yeah. So, Luke, talk me through this new project then. What are you up to?
Yeah, so this is the first time kind of completely co-writing and co-directing with Alex, who we worked together on Common Denominator 2 years ago, but like you kind of took a producer role, I think. That project was a mess. We don't talk about it, except we do a lot. But this is a kind of a surrealist comedy in the style of kind of Monty Python stuff with a bit of kind of Naked Gun, IT Crowd sort of stuff. And this has started as a tiny thing and ended up growing to very easily the biggest thing that we've ever done.
Alex, how did you come into it? How do you know each other?
So we met in film class a couple years ago, and like since then we've always wanted to like work on a project together, and lockdown was the perfect opportunity.
So how did the idea come about? Because I'm guessing you couldn't really meet in person much over the last 12 months.
I think we've met in person once in the field
Yes.
in the whole time. So yeah, it was. I can't remember really. The whole thing set in a charity shop, and I don't know what happened there.
No.
I love the idea that you can't remember who came up with it or who came up with the concept.
No.
How long ago was it?
It was around like July last year, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, that's when we started writing. Then we took like a pretty big break, and then jumped back into it November, December time, and then things went full force from January 1st.
So how
we
far?
secured our first name.
Yeah, how far into the project are you?
Pretty deep into pre-production, I think.
Yeah.
We still got like location stuff to sort out, but most of our cast and crew are sorted. We've got 2 roles left to cast and a couple of roles on set left, but we've got a lot of people on board. We're in the process of crowdfunding. Everything's kind of, we're trying to do as much as we can before lockdown allows us to film, so that everything's in place the moment we can start doing it.
Alex, how have you written it? Has this been all over Zoom?
Yeah, mostly over Skype screen share. We'll sit there in a call and we'll bounce ideas off each other, and then we'll come and write it. We'll sometimes have really productive days, and then other days we'll go 5 hours and we'll literally just decide that we're cutting something. So we're making like negative progress, really.
Are you quite good at kind of sharing each other's humour? Because comedy's so subjective, isn't it? And I don't know, are either of you a bit of a control freak, or are you both quite generous with what you let the other person chip in with?
Yeah, I think we're generous.
I'm definitely also a control freak, but I think we've worked stuff out now. And it's. Sorry, Karen.
I was just going to say about the one joke where it was like we had one, and it was like we both had a joke that if the other person didn't like it, there's like sort of a token, and we'll just let it in regardless. So yeah, that was pretty good. That helped solve a lot of things, because it was like, yeah.
And my one token joke that we had is everyone who's read the script says that's my favourite bit. And so I'm so happy.
So you get your script ready, and then what do you do? Because Luke, you're the king of approaching people who shouldn't be interested in what you're doing and making them interested. So how have you got on this time?
Way better than we ever thought. It's quite shocking, really. Around, I think it was New Year's Eve, maybe New Year's Day, kind of around New Year's, either side of the New Year's, I sent the script over to Ewan Mcintosh, who was Keith in the UK version of The Office. And just as a kind of, comedy, could you tell us what you think? And then he said how much he really enjoyed it. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to push it a little further. And I was like, there's a little supporting role towards the start of the film. And I was like, is there any chance you'd be interested in coming to play it? And he was like, yeah, sure, I'd be up for that. And then we started chatting with him, and he's been so supportive. He's now our executive producer as well, which has been lovely. A lot of for people who are fans of The Office, a lot of our crowdfund stuff is like based around his work. You can get a signed picture from him or like a video call with him and different stuff. Like, he's been amazing support. And then once we had him on board, we started being able to invite the other folk on board, which is the cast we've got so far is really, really exciting. I don't know whether you want me to just say them all.
Yeah,
now
go rattle them off.
Spread it throughout the evening. So Alex, I mean, do you want to talk about one of them?
I'll do Alex Mcqueen. So Alex Mcqueen is most recognised for his role as Neil's dad in The Inbetweeners. And how we really got him involved was Luke again with his knack. And was it Facebook?
I think it was Facebook, yeah. It just popped up on my Facebook once and I was like, it's that bloke from The Inbetweeners and every other British sitcom.
Yeah, and we needed a well-known voice for a operator in the production of Reduced Clear. And then obviously he was perfect really for everything.
Yeah, it was quite shocked we got him. I mean, he's the only one of the cast who was just voiceover, but either way, it's been great, and especially for what is just a kind of small side role. It's just like, and we've got the voice of him, and I think one of the bigger roles that we've got is Simon Fisher Becker, who was the ghost of Fat Friar in Harry Potter and the villain in Doctor Who of Dorian Maldovar for 3 episodes. And I've been a massive fan of his part in Doctor Who. I mean, I remember going to a Comic-Con about 6 years ago just to meet him. So the idea that now he's coming to Telford to be in a charity shop in our film is just so surreal.
So you're convincing these people to drive from wherever it is they live to Telford to be in your film. I mean, it was one thing. We were speaking about people who you get on your podcasts. At least they can do that from their own house.
Yeah, I mean, those people who are kind of traveling further distances or want kind of support is where our crowdfund comes in to cover certain people's transport. But yeah, the fact that these people are willing to come and travel, a couple of them are maybe needing to kind of stay overnight and stuff, and they're just willing to do this out of the kindness of their hearts, which is just so lovely. Yeah, and we have one other person who we wanted to announce at some point in this thing, so we could either do it now or later.
Go on then. do your big announcement.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, Alex, do you want to do it or shall I?
Well, we could sort of do it together, couldn't we?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
This person is Nanette Finch, who is she's known as like the UK's most prolific extra. She's done loads of extra work. She's got like one of those faces that you just see popping around everywhere, and she's most well known for her role as one of the people in the old people's home in Derek.
Yeah, she played Annie in the Ricky Gervais show Derek.
Yeah.
And she's also she's been in over 1,000 films and TV shows. Once you know her face, she is everywhere. We go on the Nanette watch now. We're watching the show. We look at crowds. It's like, there's Nanette. And so yeah, she's. I mean, like in Derek and a couple of other things, she has kind of larger roles, but she's like one of the top, if not the top supporting artist, and she's coming from London to be in this, and she's playing one of the customers in the charity shop, and it's annoying. I can't say much about the characters because they spoil every gag.
Yeah.
Have you got a location? Are you filming it in a charity shop somewhere in Telford?
That's one of our call-outs, is that we need to sort of if there's any charity shops listening or any people involved in it, admittedly it's quite tough at the moment, understandably, because assuming that they're reopened, I can understand they probably won't want to shut for 3 days for filming. That's tough because they need to make up the money that they missed before. But I'm hoping that somewhere there is a charity shop that'll appreciate the publicity. We can
So you're doing
video
a full 3-day shoot
for 5 minutes
for this?
Yeah. For 5-minute film.
And it's a 5-minute film. And where's it going to go? What's kind of the aim?
I think probably festivals. And obviously we'll eventually pop it up on YouTube, and we'll do kind of our own screenings and stuff. But I think this one has festival potential, because whereas some of the stuff we've done before have had sound issues or not great camera work or anything, the crew that we've managed to gather I'm surprised that so many people are willing, that we've got these proper kind of professional experienced production designers, sound guys, directors of photography, people who've worked on film and feature films and TV and stuff, who are all still happy to come and support this. So hopefully it's of the standard to enter into a few festivals.
And that, I guess, is where the crowdfunding comes in, because you've got to pay these people.
Yeah. Their transport. Everyone's kindly just transport.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think part of the reason why so many people are so willing is because of the the dearth of opportunities that there have been around over the last year, that people are just, frankly, in a lot of ways, just happy to be getting back to work.
I'm pretty certain. The concept of anything coming up that is that to look forward to and go, well, at least we've got this coming up, is great. Hoping they all still stick around when everything starts going full force, which I'm sure they will. But yeah, it's. I think it's been the perfect time to start work on this, because everyone has been able to kind of agree and sign up. We've got a lovely WhatsApp group full of people involved, and it's just great to kind of have everyone. And what we're really looking forward to after we've cast our 2 final roles, we have a couple other people in the cast who haven't announced yet, that'll, I'm sure, will come over the coming weeks and months. But once we've cast our final 2 roles, I am so excited for our Skype read through to have everyone on the screen together. Will just be lovely.
So are you 17 yet, the two of you, or are you still 16? I think you're 16.
I am
last
17.
Time we spoke. You are now 17.
I'm 17. No, well, I'm 17 on Monday.
Oh, well, happy birthday for Monday.
Yeah.
And
I think you've got a couple more weeks, haven't you, Alex?
Yeah.
It's an amazing show of faith, isn't it, that you're basically in charge of this thing. You're steering this ship.
Yeah, we're terrified.
How much help are you getting?
As in a way, with the folk that we've got on board and all of their levels of experience, I think anything that we struggle with, they'll be able to assist with. But they're also not the type of people who would take over directing either. Like, everyone's so kind of lovely, and some of them have even specifically said, when we've kind of joked about, oh, we're the least qualified people on our own set, they've kind of said, oh, well, if you need any help, we're happy to help, but we'll also take a step back and leave you to do how you want to do it, which I think, if that is how it all turns out, that will be great. Because I can imagine it will be quite stressful on the day, but also so much fun to see it all come together, and just so exciting that all these different people, both people who are because of how we look up to them, but also just stuff like some of our friends we've managed to bring on board. The idea of just having everyone together in one space, especially after the last year, is very, very exciting.
So I suppose you were quite anxiously listening to the Prime Minister on Monday and trying to work out when you can do this, because I suppose it's slightly different if you're filming in June or July or August compared to, if you had to wait until November, December. It puts a whole different spin on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're hoping August at the moment, but we're also that's kind of what we said to everyone, and I think we'll book the locations and plan everything around that.
Yeah, but we're aware that can change.
We're aware it could change, which is in a way why I was kind of I'm glad to hear everything that's being put in place, because I've been kind of nervous about the ideas of going straight back into the schools and everything, reopening and stuff. And I'm thinking, I hope everything goes smoothly. Not just because of the film, obviously. There's a lot more stuff. There's a lot more at stake.
You both at college at the moment?
Yeah, but different colleges.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I suppose that's taking up quite a bit of your time, but albeit from home.
Yeah, in a way, that's made things a little bit nicer, but that it's been from home and we haven't had kind of all the travel. But yeah, it is trying to balance this with homework, especially when we're also kind of aware that this could be really beneficial to our careers, but also homework's important. It's getting that proper balance. And I'm especially kind of, whilst we're hoping to film in August, if we end up having to postpone to later in the year, I want to make sure that all of my college work is on top, so that, say we need 3 days shooting in like November or something, I could then say to the college, look, I've done all the work, any chance you'd give me 3 days to film? That's the hope. But hopefully we'll film in August and college won't be at stake at all.
It's bad enough trying to show a joke to your mates and the idea that nobody laughs. When you're approaching professional comedy actors with your script that you've written that you think is hilarious, there must be a horrible moment when you're opening that email, that reply, hoping that they find it funny. Otherwise, you're just mortified, aren't you?
Yeah, everyone I've sent the script to, I kind of mentally, probably at least every 20 minutes in my head, I'd like, have they read it yet? Got to check my emails, see if anyone's got any comments. And the wonderful thing is that the reverse has happened in a way, is that we've rewritten it so many times that we know it beat for beat that it's not funny to us anymore. And then we'll show the script to someone and they'll be like, oh, that bit's hilarious. And it's like, oh yeah, it was hilarious, I forgot. And it's good. It's lovely, and we're very excited. And I think the great thing is that I realize I'm rambling a lot, is that we've rewritten so much, and we both know each other's sense of humor so much that most jokes in the script we can't remember who wrote them, which I think is probably a good sign.
Have you had anybody be fairly brutal in a positive way? Have you had much sort of constructive criticism? Because that's always quite important, isn't it? An outsider's perspective to say, do you know what, you've got something here, but have you thought about doing X?
We did have one, didn't we, Alex, about our ending?
Yeah, about the ending. But
yeah, we gave it, like, we had a guy, lovely bloke who will have a thanks credit in the film. I think he's got on IMDb, a writer-director called Piotr Skopiak. And I sent the script over to him, and he really, really liked it and gave some lovely feedback for the whole thing. And then just the ending, he kind of just had completely highlighted and circled, and was like, he was like, I really advise you don't do this. And that went straight away. Because the ending, as he pointed us out, is like we both had a sudden moment of realization of, that is the worst ending we could ever have thought of. Why on earth was that a good idea? Which, yeah, it was essentially us acknowledging that we were lazy writers. There was a whole line at the end, which was basically the guy turning to camera and saying, the writers have run out of ideas, so the film's ending now, or something. And it was just... it was along that. We thought it was funny, but then it was kind of pointed out that you're just leaving people on the note that you're not good writers, and it's like, yeah maybe not.
Yeah, they've invested all the way through, and then you've just left them with the notion that you're rubbish. Yeah, it's probably not the best idea. But sometimes you need that, don't you? You need somebody from outside just to go, do it a different way. And that's good. And I suppose that's going to be such a great learning experience when you can get out and draw on the experience of people that you've got, even if it's just, on the day, to be able to go or to get a nudge in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the folks we've had on board have advised different things. So we're having a chat with Ewan, because we have fairly regular meetings with him now. He's one of our producers, which is so weird and surreal. But we're having a chat with him, and he just had different ideas for gags, or wouldn't it be funny if my character did this at the end? And it's just like, yeah, that's great. It's great. And one of the people who we have cast and not yet announced at this point, so I won't say who, we were doing accepting different audition tapes on Backstage for, and we wrote this part completely different. And essentially through a circumstance, I think the original script didn't come through, but this guy got the basic premise and decided to ad-lib the entire scene and send it over. And it was completely different to how we pictured the character, but it was
amazing. Yeah.
Are you good at saying no? Are you good at when somebody who is a lot more experienced than you comes up with an idea, just going, actually, that's not what we want to do?
I think you'll be better at it than me, Alex.
Because that's tough, isn't it? When you're faced with somebody who's far on paper more qualified than you. But look, it's a brilliant idea. So what's the target for the crowdfunding?
So we initially, on the Indiegogo page, it will say that we have reached the goal of £750, which was kind of our first idea. We didn't know how well it would do, but I'd say we're kind of trying to see whether we can push it past £1,000 now, because we hit 750 way quicker than we expected.
Because you've got to be able to afford loads of bottled water for all these diva actors and stuff like that, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got that, and we've got their transport. We've got certain elements of production design that's quite ambitious. We've got a wonderful prop designer, Katie, who's making all these props that we'll write words on a page and she'll come out with this design and idea, and it's just all coming to life, which is great. And so, but I mean, I'm not quite sure whether money will be needed for that. I'm sure there'll be little bits here and there for costume and stuff. It's so strange. I think we're lucky to have both gone from making Common Denominator, which was complete zero budget, to know how to cut corners. So that a lot of this stuff we can work out.
Give your crowdfunder a plug, and obviously if there's somebody who knows of a charity shop you can use, how do they get in touch?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the best way would it be my email or yours, Alex, to get in touch?
Oh, I think my email. My email. So My email, if you want to get in touch with the charity shop, is ayousefi, that's AYOUSEFI, @hotmail.co.uk. And yeah, that would be nice. Thank you.
Yeah, we've realised a massive tendency for my replies to people's
go into
emails going in their
spams.
spam. We had a situation where we asked for production designers. Loads of people applied. Then I messaged them all with different questions and like saying, "Oh, we'd love to speak to you," and really, really like your stuff. And then no one replied. And I was like, "Why was everyone so keen?"
Yeah.
Like a week ago, and no one's replied. And then turned out we were in all their spam.
Oh wow!
So I've got to sort that out. But yeah, outside of that, the crowdfund, the best way to find that probably be through my website
Your
rather than getting
website.
the full Indiegogo / thing. So if you just go to lukeallen.co.uk, lukeallen.co.uk, then you should just be able to find it. It's everywhere on that website. First thing you see is a little video about it, and then there's support the latest project, and I think that button's on like every page on the website. I'm really trying to get people to support this project.
Yes, I've just found it. Yeah, it is there.
Brilliant. Yeah, so that's it. And there's a whole range of perks available. Anything from any donation people give, they get a video message from us saying thanks. And then it kind of levels up. You could get a signed copy of the script. You could get a video call with Ewan.
Thanks in the end credits.
Thanks in the end
screen use
credits.
prop.
Yeah, prop from the film. Like there's a lot available, hopefully. And we've been really surprised that people have actually gone for those high perks. Like people have gone for. I think we've had a couple of sales on like the £120 perk, which is just like so shocking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just any donation is really, really greatly appreciated, and you'll get a very fun and silly thank you message from us.
Amazing. Well, keep in touch and let us know when you're ready to shoot. If you need somebody to do a cameo, we're ready. Makeup's done. We're good to go. And keep in touch with what you're up to.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for having us on.
Thank you a lot.
No problem at all. That's Luke Allen and Alex Yousefi, and young Telford-based filmmakers who are working on an extraordinary project, which we will keep you up to date with.